talk about a recent development in my life, which is that for 48 hours, I was famous on Shawn Mendes' Twitter. I don't know if famous is the right term, but definitely going some semblance of viral due to bizarre circumstances all around. I will start at the very beginning. I haven't been a Shawn Mendes fan for very long, maybe 2 years. I really got into the Illuminate album, and then when his new Shawn Mendes, the album, came out, it was like the coolest thing ever. And you know, Justin Bieber has been a mess lately, to be honest with you. That's nothing against Justin. I think he would say the same thing. But he's working on himself, you know, and that's beautiful. And he's, you know, he's married, and he's gotta just take care of himself and his wife and his little dogs. So somewhere along the line, we all needed a new Canadian pop star to fill the void. Everybody needs a Canadian pop star in their life at all times, in my opinion. And so Shawn Mendes came along. I was not a fan really in his Vine era, but I knew about it as it was going on. I really seriously got into his new stuff, bandwagon fan. I found out he was coming to town, and I was like, I have to go, but like he's not necessarily top of my list. And I go to 6,000 concerts a year, and so like I gotta think about my budget. And like I have a hard time doing that, and I have a hard time with like impulse control when it comes to pop stars in my backyard. So I was like, I'm not gonna do it. And then I had a friend who needed to sell 2 tickets. They were right next to the B stage, which is where Shawn performs my favorite song, Ruin, which is the saddest, most beautiful, heartbreaking, bluesy, emotional, relatable. Anyway, it's a good song. I love it. So the day of the show arrives, and so I was like, who am I gonna get to go with me? Like, this is such an embarrassing thing to ask people, like, please come to see Shawn Mendes with me. I didn't know who to ask. I started asking everybody. I tried to get my brother to go, because that's really his age group more. There are gonna be a bunch of like 18-year-old girls there, so maybe you'd be interested. He couldn't go because he was at a car show. Actually, he had some like weird like car celebrity encounters that weekend. He met the guy who is the star of Bitchin' Rides. So I was like freaking out, and I texted my good friend Maddie, and she said no, she had a conflict. And then she was like, oh, well, my BFF Lorna is in town. And as we all know, Lorna is a huge Shawn Mendes fan. Stars are aligning. So I get this text maybe 15 minutes later, and she's like, Shawn Mendes? I want to thank Lorna, if she's watching, so much for coming with me. She was an amazing concert going partner. We really had the same energy all night. That morning, because I work in downtown St. Paul, so that morning I had been stalking, kind of stalking the XL, and I had a friend who was down there, and she said that she had like seen his team walking around like really close to where I work. We came a little bit on the later side, halfway through Alessia Cara, and she was amazing. One of the amazing things about the Shawn Mendes concert was that just about everybody there was a 12-year-old girl and their mom, or a series of 12-year-old girls and a series of their mothers. And so no lines for the bars whatsoever. I've never seen anything like it, except, I don't know, it's probably like that at like Sesame Street Live, but there was nobody in line. So it was just like free access. You know, normally it's like, it's not even the stadium prices that get to you. It's like waiting that long to get, you know, like a 12-ounce White Claw. There were no lines whatsoever. There were huge lines for merch. That's a different story that I'll get to, because nobody was of drinking age, including the performers, including Shawn Mendes, cannot legally drink in the United States of America. I will be sure to append photos here of him getting kicked out of bars in Europe after midnight. Most of my interest in Shawn Mendes, unfortunately, has been, I mean, I love his music, but I recognize that it's, you know, it's not, I recognize it for what it is. I love it in the same way that I love Bieber's music, in the same way that I love most pop music. It's, you know, carefree, makes you happy. You don't have to think about it that hard. I recognize that one of the reasons that we all love Shawn Mendes is that he is a cutie.org. He is a babe.edu. He is like just phenomenally beautiful. More and more every day. He's got this Calvin Klein thing going on, which is really a blessing. He keeps saying in these Q&As that he wants to do acting more, which I wouldn't necessarily recommend that for him without some maybe schooling in that area. But I respect his desire. I respect his desire to be in front of the camera, and I think that benefits all of us in the long run. So, go off. I love Shawn Mendes. So there we were, waiting for him to go on. There was like an hour break in between, probably a 50-minute break between Alessia Cara, Shawn Mendes, and he, of course, went to the Taylor Swift School of Touring, and so he had those little light-up wristbands. We, of course, were in line for we weren't in line, we were just, like, chilling with the bartenders when they passed those out, so I was a little bit mad about that, and of course they were like, oh, we ran out, we don't have any more. I don't know if that's true. That can't be true. You know, at the end of the day, I was like, this is just a privilege of being over the age of 21. Sometimes you don't get an achy blinky light, but you do get, you know, a vodka cran. So that, it's a blessing in disguise. I was thinking to myself, you know, if Shawn Mendes were here with us right now, would he take the vodka or would he take the inky blinky light? He'd probably take the vodka. So I just, you know, I want to keep in mind, I want to keep a rock star's mindset on this one. They give a 5-minute warning. We can tell that it's about to start. We run down to our seats. Our seats are, truly, we were like the second row, way in the back of the arena. However, right next to the B stage. So it was kind of like, you know, the main stage that wrapped around the front, and then way the hell in the back of the arena, this B stage, which is where he was gonna come and do his acoustic sad, such as his greatest song, Ruin, which is really the main thing that I was there for. So it was perfect. It was perfect. And another feature of the B stage is that coming up from the center of it was this absolutely beautiful flower, because he's really on this floral right now. He's really, his theme right now is floral stuff. Like if you look at his album cover I learned, see, I'm like a Shawn Mendes expert right now because all I do is read Twitter. So his album cover was actually fan art that he asked if he could use. He like paid some random fan, he like bought her design, supporting local artists. Like he found this fan art and he was like, this is cool, and then he turned it into his album cover. Also, if you were his fan, wouldn't you just like absolutely die if that happened to you? And he loves stuff like that because, you know, he came up from Vine and he like understands like coming up from nothing. Anyway, not nothing, but you know, there's this beautiful flower coming out of this stage in front of us. I mean, it was like a beautiful set. You felt like you were in just this little fairyland. John Mayer last fall at that terrible music festival with Shannon, and now that I've seen John Mayer, I kind of get what everything means. I mean, that is dramatic, but I was really not a John Mayer fan before I saw him live. I mean, I knew the hits, but I didn't get it. And then when I saw him live, it was like, okay, I understand now. He is like a jammer at the end of the day. He loves to jam, and this is what he's about. And just like that kind of chill, like I'm here to just play music with my boys, with my girls in this case. It's just very cool. And you can tell that Shawn Mendes really actively, I mean, he said in interviews that he considers John Mayer a mentor, and John Mayer is on the album, or he was consulted, or there's some like guitar riff that's allegedly John Mayer. So you can tell that he gets a lot of his performance style from John Mayer. Okay, this car beeps every time I go over a line. It's like really new for me. This is a rental, by the way. I did not get a Toyota. So the show's going on. The day before the St. Paul stop on the Shawn Mendes tour, he released Senorita, which is a collaboration with Camila Cabello from Fifth Harmony. His longtime, like, on again, off again, are they dating, are they not, is it a publicity stunt woman. That was huge because it's like, that's all his fans ever want. There's this thing in the Shawn Mendes fan world called the Shamalas or something like that. I don't know how they pronounce it, but it's like the little girls who are obsessed with the two of them, you know, getting married and having babies, and they write like, you know, Wattpads about their imagined. Anyway, so that's like a big deal. I learned in his fandom. It's a big deal when those two are around each other. So the day before this show, they released a song and a music video. It was a very like Miami motorcycle boy and waitress hooking up and star-crossed cool lovers, like awkwardly saucy music video. Great summer banger. It's been charting. So I said, this is awesome that he is doing this the day before our show. What if he performs this and we're the first ones to hear it, basically? That's every fan's dream, to be the first to hear something. That'll be music history if we hear it first. And so, of course, he's doing this little medley leading right into Mutual. And he does about 30 seconds of it. It was just him and his piano, really a jam sesh, really jamming out. You know, didn't even announce it, just, you know, knew that we would know that it was his new song. And of course the place goes crazy. And of course I had my phone and I filmed it. And I immediately put it on Twitter. What did I even say? I just said, Senorita debut. That's what I said. I said, Senorita debut. Amazing. And then I hashtagged Shawn Mendes Tour St. Paul. And And then I put my phone in my bag. I was wearing a fanny pack. That's important context. So I was wearing a fanny pack, and I put my phone, you know, in my bag on my hip, and I continued watching. He went into some of my favorites from there, so I'm singing along, and all of a sudden I feel my phone buzzing, and I was like, that's not a phone call. It was like this sporadic buzzing, and instantly, I didn't even have to look. And I knew what was happening. The Twitter girls found this. It's over for me. I tried not to look because I was like trying to enjoy the show, but he did a set change or something, and I took my phone out of my bag, and it was like, I was the first Senorita debut tweet to ever exist on Twitter.com. My phone is going crazy in my fanny pack, and I'm trying to watch this show. And so I tried to I tried to temporarily mute my notifications so that it wouldn't drive me crazy all night and I wouldn't just sit there reading it. People who go viral all the time, I don't really know how they do it. Because I would sit and read that all day, more than I even do now, which is all day already. A major Shawn Mendes Twitter fan account had reposted it. So there were two different versions of it. There was my version, which was the original version, and then somebody had screen capped mine and reposted it, and I can tell that it's mine because it's the same angle and I'm screaming in it. One of the best things about it was that all of these girls were like, the girl screaming, oh my god, mood. Suddenly it was like, I am in the Shawn Mendes community. I have made it. This is what it means to become a part of something greater than yourself. It was like a big deal. It was fun. It was so fun. It was just this random fluke, and I had so much fun. The last time I looked at it, it was like 130,000 views. I know that sometimes, I don't know how it works with Twitter auto plays. Some of those might have not been intentional, but also they could have been real because the account that reposted me got 5,000 faves, or 5,000, it was 3,000 likes at least, I think, when I looked at it. I know that they were all viewing that original file. Or, see, I don't really know the terminology, but I know that they were all viewing that original video, so that seems accurate that it could have been 100, because it was a really short video. So the 137,000, I think, is an accurate count of people who saw it. My personal tweet, only got 150 likes, but that's not that weird because I don't have a big following, so it's that seems like an appropriate number for somebody without a big following to reflect that larger number. And then the other account that screen capped it, they got probably 1,000 likes on it and a bajillion faves and retweets. So it was, it was just funny. The concert was great. Bruin was great. I cried. This little group of probably fresh out of high schoolers right in front of me. It was kind of a mixed gender group as well. The boyfriends were there too, which was fun. We're in the second row here, but then there was a little lower area that was kind of obstructed view, and they were in those. And it starts, and I was like, your finest work. It's your greatest work. His greatest piece. I'm so just obnoxious behind them. I feel bad. And they turned around, they were like, you're right, it's true, yes, Ruin, yes, as it's starting. And I love when you get a genuine fellow fan interaction like that. It really means a lot to me. I also wanted to talk about the merch quick. So his merch, he has amazing merch. His merch is really cool. He really caters to the teenage girls and the floral motif. And so he has currently a great assortment of kind of floral, you know, pink, orchids, mauve, tan, and these beautiful colors, pale blue and pale, you know, mint and white, and the little dad hats that are like Shawn Mendes World Tour, and then it's like a flower. He also loves an old school moment with his promo stuff, so he'll send, for his PR packages, he sent Senorita around on a cassette tape. But then he'll also send you like a cassette player to play it on, because like, Lord knows nobody has a cassette player in 2019. But the people that he sends it to, he'll send them a device on which to listen to it, which is so nice. I think the coolest thing about the Shawn Mendes merch that I love so much is that he does a separate poster for every tour stop that's like unique to that city. And I think that is like so old school and awesome. I love that. And so I knew from the start, because I knew that he was doing that. That was part of his promotion right when the tour started, was that he had all these little posters going by in a video of like, this is the city, this is the city. And it just feels so intentional. Like, I'm coming to this city, I'm making a poster for your city. I just love it. I love it. I love it. And so so I was like, I am going to get the Shawn Mendes St. Paul tour poster. I am going to get it. That is the only thing I want. And also they were cheap. They were like, I think it was less than 20 bucks. It was like 15 bucks. For, you know, for a little piece of paper. What could be better? So I bought his Shawn Mendes The Tour St. Paul poster. I need to frame it. Shout out to Craig's Frames. Shout out. That was a reference for Shannon. Hope she's watching. I also ended up buying like a bootleg sweatshirt with like the logo, but it's like really bad screen printing, so that's something that I will cherish that for the rest of my life. The following morning, you know, I pretty much stayed up all night long reading my Twitter mentions. Every Twitter girl's dream is to just have enough mentions to read them all night. Do you see these cornfields? I don't know where I am. Woke up the following morning and my tweet had reached Europe at that point. All of these little girls in Europe were absolutely distraught because he hadn't done Senorita on their tour stop. It was hilarious because it was like I had gone to bed with all these whooped up girls from, you know, Brazil who were just excited to see the footage, and I woke up to girls in the UK like pissed at me. So that was pretty fun. Just a day in the life of being a Shawn Mendes viral Twitter stan. So I think that really covers the entire story. Thank you so much for watching. Shawn Mendes, if you see this, keep doing what you're doing. You're headed for even bigger things. I think the best is yet to come.
Truly, what is it that makes a show great? The music, the lights, everything makes it great, but what makes it incredible is you guys. And I need you to sing and scream as loud as you can. Here we go!